Hello and welcome to the Wanderlust Professor Yoga Studio. Today I have a gentle practice for us. The gentle practice is going to allow us to move our body, feel into areas that might have some stuck-in tension or uncomfortableness. As with all practices, make sure that you consult your physician before beginning. My goal is to help you find a self-care fitness practice that will allow you to feel into your body and help you on your journey, wherever that may lead. Let's begin by finding a comfortable position on our backs. You can relax here, you can extend your legs out long, or you can have your knees bent and feet on the floor. Just take a moment here to arrive on your mat. We've got the next hour together to focus on our own self-care, our own health and well-being. Just close your eyes and allow your body to settle in. Feeling the ground and earth supporting you. Noticing any tension areas in your body. Just acknowledging them. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Have you been rushing around today? Do you have a very fast pace, quick breath? Are you breathing shallow or are you breathing deeply all the way down into your abdomen? Just notice where you're at. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to modify. Just notice and acknowledge. Now that we have acknowledged where we're at, can we begin to focus in on evening out our breath? In our yoga practice, we breathe in and breathe out through our nose. So on your next inhale, can you inhale to a count of 4? And exhale to a count of 4 as well. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on that rhythmic breathing pattern. Now, as we are breathing, evening out our breath, notice any area of your body that might be feeling tension. And on your next inhale, imagine drawing that breath into that area that's bothering you. And on your exhale, pretend like it's grabbing a hold of it and moving it out of your body. And as it leaves your lips, imagine that it's stardust, sprinkling and beautifying the world. So we're inhaling beautiful, nurturing air. We're grabbing a hold of something that is not serving us. And as we're moving that out of our body, we turn it again into something beautiful. Just continue to focus on your breath for a few more rounds. And begin to bring some movement back into your body. If you have been completely still, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Take some slight movement in your body. And then we're going to roll to our right side and just take a moment here, just resting. Another round of breath. And then press yourself up to a seated position. Just find a comfortable position that works best for you. If that is crisscross applesauce, legs extended, bolster underneath you, whatever it is that you need. We're going to begin by stretching our neck. So drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Rotate down, drop your chin to your chest. Take that left ear to the left shoulder. And drop your head back. This time, take your left ear to your left shoulder. And drop your chin down to your chest. And your right ear to your right shoulder. And drop your head behind. Now taking that right ear back to the right shoulder, take your right hand, place it on the left side of your head, and just apply the slightest amount of tension, just working in to stretching that left side of your neck. Release, drop your head around, taking that left ear to the left shoulder, taking that left hand to the right side, applying just the slightest amount of pressure. Lovely. And release. Drop your right hand to the mat, taking your left arm up to the sky, hinging that right elbow, and we're hinging over to the right. Now here you can play with this. If you have your palm down, it's going to feel different than if you take your palm up towards the ceiling. So play with this here, see what feels good in your body. You can always change your gaze as well. So gazing down at the mat is going to feel different on your neck than gazing up at the sky. So find what works best for you. Pressing up through that right hand, drop the left down to the mat, taking that right over towards the left side of your mat. And once again here, playing with your hand placement. So palm down is going to feel different than palm up. And then your gaze down at the mat or up at the ceiling or anywhere in between. Find what feels best for you. Pressing back up, lower that right hand back down to the mat. We're going to walk our hands just a little bit behind us on the mat. We're going to take our shoulder blades, press them together on the back side, shining our heart out forward, dropping our head back behind us again. Bringing our head back to center, and we're shining our heart out in front of us. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale, pressing out, scooping out that belly, all the way down from the bottom, pressing that air out. And once again, inhale. Scoop that belly in, pressing the air out all the way from your navel. Wonderful. Press yourself back up. We're going to take our arms out nice and wide and give ourselves a big hug, grabbing a hold of our shoulder blades on the back side of our bodies. And we're going to take our elbows and push them out in front of us. So we're really spreading apart those shoulder blades on the back side of our body. Release, shake it out. And whatever arm you had on top, we're going to do the opposite this time. So do your opposite arms, touch those shoulder blades, press those elbows out in front of you, and just breathe into that stretch on the back side. Release, shake it out. If you want to take some shoulder rolls, take some shoulder rolls. Listen to what your body's telling you. Just acknowledge it and go with it. This is your practice. All right. Now, we're going to work on our triceps. So we're going to bend our left arm, taking our arm back behind us. Using our right hand, grab a hold of that left elbow and just apply some tension here. And if you want to, or you feel like you want an additional stretch, you can always take your head and press it in to your left arm. Breathing here, you might feel the muscles in your back engage. You might be feeling a stretch in your tricep. Release, shake it out. And then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So bending our right arm, grabbing a hold of that right elbow with our left hand, and using our head to just apply a little bit of tension if that is what your body is telling you. If not, don't do it. And release. Take a moment to shake that out again. Shake it, shake it. All right. You might be feeling some stuff talking to you up here. That is good. We spend a lot of time rounding this way because of our lifestyle, our phones, our computers, everything else. So it's good to make sure that we're just getting some movement here in our shoulders. Now we're going to take our left hand to our right knee, our right hand behind us, and we're going to gaze over that right shoulder. And we're going to come back through center, take our right hand to our left knee, left hand behind us, gaze over the left shoulder, and then back again to the right and to the left, to the right and to the left. And this time we're going to go for a longer hold. So on the right side, we're sitting up nice and tall. So our spine, if we were looking at it, be nice and straight, pretending like we're pulling our crown up towards the sky. So we're not leaning over. We're working into this twist. And as we inhale, you might feel yourself lengthening. That space between your ribs might be expanding. But on the exhale, we don't want to be crunching back into it. So take that lengthening and keep it. Don't give it back. Release, come back to center, and we're moving to the left. So right hand to left knee, gazing over that left shoulder. Nice, tall, straight spine. And release, come back to center. Hinging at your waist, we're walking our hands out in front of us, tented up on our hands, on our fingertips. Allow your head to hang heavy. Walk your fingertips out a little bit further if you can. And walk yourself back up to center. All right, and extend your legs out in front of you. We want to flex our toes so we're pointing them towards our face. This is engaging our legs. So if you press down on your thighs, you're going to feel those muscles engaged. My heels are actually pulled off of the floor because my toes are flexed towards my face. So my legs are engaged here. I'm sitting up nice and tall, nice, strong, straight spine. If you can reach the floor, fantastic. I can't, I have short arms. So I'm just gonna place my fingertips on the floor just to give me a little bit of support. Staying nice and tall. Once again, feeling that lengthening as we inhale, but we're not crunching down when we exhale. We're scooping in that belly, using it to press that air up out of our abdomen. Still, those toes are flexed. We're breathing. And now release. Release the tension in your legs. Allow your feet to hang wide, rounding that back, folding forward. If you can reach your feet, great. Your ankles, shins, whatever works for you. Allow gravity to just pull you into this relaxing pose. Use your hands to walk yourself back up to center, and we're going to come to our hands and knees. So in tabletop, we want our wrists directly underneath our shoulders. Our fingers are spread nice and wide on our mat. Our knees are underneath our hips. We're going to revisit tabletop quite a few times during this practice today. So make sure that you feel into this pose, that you feel good and stable, and nothing is bothering you here. If your knees bother you, you can always grab a blanket for additional support and padding for your knees. We're just going to get some movement here. So we're going to rock back and forth. We're going to move forwards and back. We're going to move side to side as well. So begin moving left and right. Now we're going to take wide hip circles. So we're going to circle to the right, and then we're going to go back and circle to the left. So take these circles as wide as you would like. and then back to the left. If you're feeling something here as you're moving, you can always take a moment and stop, feel into that, stretch into that. This practice is only designed as a guideline. Listen to your body as you're moving through it and give it the love and attention that it is asking for. We're going to meet back in center. Now just doing a little bit of light wrist stretching. So I'm going to take my right hand, place the top of it on the mat, and just ever so slightly, just give it a little bit of a stretch. Almost all of my weight is really in my left hand. I'm not putting any weight on this right hand. It's just for a stretch. And let's do the same thing for our left. So the top of our left hand down on the mat. All of my weight is transferred to my right hand. So I'm just here to put a little bit of a stretch, no weight on it. Release and come back to center. From here, we're going to take our right hand up towards the ceiling and then scoop it through, dropping the right side of our head down to the mat. You can walk your left arm out in front of you for an additional stretch. Bring that left hand in, press yourself back up. This time we're going to take our left hand up towards the ceiling and thread it through our right, dropping the left side of our head down to the mat and walking the right out in front. If your hip has rotated up, see if you cannot square it. You can always take your hand behind you, see if that hip has come up, and see if you can't level it back down. Slide that right hand back in, press yourself up, and this time we're going to extend our arms out in front of us, coming into puppy. So our seat is still in the air. We haven't changed the orientation of ourselves at all. We're extending our arms out and we're going to rest our forehead on the mat. If this is too much on your arms, you can always bring your arms in and rest your head like this. From here, come up to your elbows, shifting your weight forward, and we're coming into Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx, we want our elbows right next to our chest. And I'm just moving a little bit more on my mat. So we have our elbows underneath our shoulders. They're hugging into our chest. Our fingers are nice and wide on our mat. The tops of our feet are pressing into the mat. We're tipping our pelvis in to touch the mat, but we're going to try to do that and not engage our glutes at the same time. So this is going to take some focus. We're going to roll our shoulders up, back, and down, pressing them together on the back side of our body, allowing our heart to shine forward and taking our gaze forward. As you're inhaling and exhaling here, you might notice the rise and fall of your belly. Take a few more rounds of breath. Refocus in on your glutes. Are you contracting them? Can you relax them? And release. Bring your palms together, stack them on top, bring your forehead down to meet them, and allow all of the tension to release. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders, press yourself back up into tabletop. Moving through a few rounds of cat-cow. For cow, we're going to inhale, drop our belly, pressing the shoulder blades together on the back side of our body, taking our gaze out forward. Now, as we exhale, we're going to round our belly, spreading our shoulder blades apart and taking our gaze down towards our knees. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop your belly. And come to a neutral spine. From here, we're going to curl our toes and take our seat up and back for down dog. Now we haven't had any movement in our legs yet, so you might want to pedal those feet out just to get some movement and blood moving in your legs. You can shake your head yes, shake your head no. Just allow gravity to pull and decompress the vertebrae in your neck. From here, drop your knees down to the mat and come to sit back on your heels. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can always grab a block and stick it underneath your bottom to support you here. If you want to take it up a notch, you can always rock up onto your toes and sit back again to provide a little bit of a stretch in your toes. I know I don't stretch my toes enough, so I can't stay in this position for very long. But our feet are the foundation of our body, so it's important for us to focus in on them, stretch them, and give them some love. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Drop your hands down by your side and allow your head to drop back behind you. Bring your arms together overhead, palms touching, and down through heart center. From here, once again, come back on to your hands and knees. Extend your left leg out behind you. If you're feeling stable here, go ahead and take that left leg up off of the mat. We're going to flex our foot so our toes are really pointing down towards the mat, taking your right arm up off of the mat. So we're working on our balance here. If you feel as though you are becoming unbalanced, lower your arm or your leg. Go ahead and lower. And extend your right leg back behind you. If you're feeling stable here, go ahead and raise your right leg up into the sky. And take your left arm off of the mat. And lower back down. From here, we're going to bring our right foot to meet our hands at the front of the mat, coming into a low lunge. So we want to keep our knee above our ankle, and we want to make sure that we can see our big toes. So when we're in a low lunge, we're working on our hip flexor here. So if you need to go a little bit deeper to feel into this area, you can always scoot your foot out a little bit. We're supporting ourselves here for stability. And we're just allowing gravity to work into our hip. Plant your hands, take your right foot back, curl your toes, and press up for plank. So when we're in plank, we don't want our seat up too high and we don't want it too low. So if you could put a board from your heels all the way to your crown, it should lay flat. From here, drop your knees, take them the width of the mat, and sit back on your heels. As you're breathing here, you might notice the rise and the fall of your chest with each inhale and exhale. Press yourself back up into tabletop again. This time we're again bringing our right foot back to meet our hands at the front, allowing ourselves to come into that low lunge, checking for our alignment again to make sure that we are not going to hurt ourselves. And then this time we're going to transfer our weight back towards our left, extending our right leg. So you can have your toe flexed or you can have it pointing. Depending on the orientation that you choose is going to depend on how the stretch is going to feel in your leg. Take your right foot back, coming back into tabletop. Press down through your hands, curl your toes, take your seat up and back for down dog. Pedal your feet out again if you would like to. And then slowly walk yourself to the front of your mat, coming into a full forward fold. Allow your head to hang heavy. If you want to grab opposite elbows, you're welcome to do so. Reverse swan dive, arms up overhead, palms together. We're going to drop our left arm down our side, hinging at our waist, taking our right arm over. Here you might be feeling some stretch in your right side body. And as we exhale, we don't want to crunch down into our body again. Keep that lengthening. Scooping in that belly with our exhales. And come back into center. From here, we're going to come into a standing twist. So we're going to take that right arm back behind us, extend that left arm out to the front, and take the gaze over your right shoulder. Come back into center. We're going to step our left foot back, coming onto the ball of our left foot. We're going to bend into our right leg. So we've got a bend here, making sure that we, of course, can still see our big toe. Inhaling your arms up overhead, roll those shoulder blades up, back, and down. Place your hands on the mat, take your right foot back, and come into down dog. Lower yourself down to your knees. Extend your left leg behind you. Raise your right arm. And if you feel stable, take that left leg off of the mat. Go ahead and lower down. Extend your right leg behind you. Take your left arm out front. And if you feel stable, raise your right leg. And lower back down. This time, bring your left foot out front. And we're coming into that low lunge again. So adjust as you need to. We want our knee directly over our ankle. We're working into that right hip flexor this time. So if you need to slide your right leg back a little bit more to get a little bit further into that hip flexor, feel free to do so. We're using our hands to support us as we feel into this pose. Take your left foot back, curl your toes, press yourself up for plank. Drop your knees to the mat. Keeping them together, take your seat to your heels and bring your hands back to meet your feet as you take your forehead to the mat. Allow those shoulders to roll down to the mat and release. Press yourself back up, coming into tabletop again. Bring that left leg through to meet your hands. We're in our low lunge. This time we're straightening our left leg. And if you flexed, flex your toe. If you pointed the last time, point. Rock back forward, bringing that left foot back behind you again. Curl your toes and press yourself up for down dog. Walk yourself to the front of the mat, coming into a full forward fold. Allow your head to hang heavy. Reverse swan dive, arms up overhead. This time dropping your right arm down your side, taking your left over. You can always play with your gaze here. You can take your gaze up towards your fingers, straight ahead, or down to the mat. Whatever works best for you, your neck, your practice. And lower. We're extending that left arm behind us, taking our right arm out front, taking our gaze over that left thumb. And back to center. Taking our right leg, stepping it back behind us. We're on the toes, the ball of our right foot, bending into this left standing leg, making sure that we can see our toes. Once again, working on that hip flexor. So if you need to, take your hands on your hip bones, make sure that they are pointing straight towards that short edge of your mat, that they're not rotating and opening up. That's going to allow you to feel a little bit more into that hip flexor. Taking our arms up overhead, roll those shoulder blades up, back, and down. From here, take your hands back down to the mat and step back into plank. Lower your knees down to the mat and lower yourself down. Take your right arm out to the side. Now, if you have a block here, you might like a block, or if you have a blanket, you can always use it. So our right arm is extended out to the side. We're going to roll onto our side. We can play with our legs, using that block to support our neck so that we don't have any tension on our neck. If you want to, you can always bend that left leg, place it on the floor, and take your left arm behind you. If that doesn't feel good, you can always leave the left arm on the mat. Listen to whatever your body is telling you. Release. Roll through center. Extend your left arm out to the side. Roll onto it. And then, of course, play with this arm as well. Play with the placement of your legs. This is your practice. Roll back through center. Move any props out to the side that you might have, and press yourself up to a seated position. Coming into full butterfly. So the soles of our feet are together, while allowing our knees to just hang wide. You can grab a hold of your feet if you want to. Just allow your spine to round, your head to hang heavy. And with each exhale, see if you can't get a little bit deeper into the pose. If you want to take an additional stretch here, you can always rest your elbows in the creases of your knees and kind of press outwards if you want to. Otherwise, just round and allow gravity to pull you, relaxing and releasing. Pressing yourselves back up. Extend your legs out long and slowly roll down to your back, one vertebrae at a time. From here, we're going to take our feet the width of the mat, and we're going to drop our knees to the right side of the mat. If you would like an additional stretch, you can take your right foot and place it on top of that left knee. You're going to work into this outside of your hip for an additional stretch. And if that doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. You can play with your hands. You can take your hands out to the side. Since our knee is going to the right, we're going to take our gaze to the left. Slowly release and come back to center. If your body is telling you it wants to take movement, take movement. If your body wants stillness, take stillness. Take one more round of breath and come back to center. This time we're dropping our knees to the left side of the mat. So our feet are the width of the mat, dropping our knees to the left. If you took that additional stretch on the right side, you might want to try taking it here on the left. If it feels good, great. If it doesn't, then don't do it. Since our knees are going to the left, we're taking our gaze to the right. Slowly release. Come back into center. If your body is telling you it wants movement, take movement. If you want stillness, take stillness. Take one more round of breath and bring your knees into your chest, massaging out your lower back. Extend your legs overhead, grabbing a hold of your big toes, coming into happy baby. Release your fingers and lower your feet down to the mat, placing your heels about 12 inches away from your seat, palms down on the mat. And as we inhale, we're going to rise, taking our belly up towards the sky, rolling those shoulder blades underneath us, We're grounding down through our heels. Our legs are parallel, they're not falling wide on us. So nice, good strength through our legs. And on our exhale, we're going to scoop that belly out again, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale up. And exhale, scooping with control, one vertebrae at a time. And one more, inhale up. This time, exhale out all of your air before you begin to come down to the mat. You might feel your belly draw a little bit further in. Extend your legs wide and long and come into your comfortable resting position for Shavasana. Begin to relax your brow. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth and soften your jaw. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. And allow your feet to fall to the corners of your mat. Begin to bring your awareness back into this space. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Extend your arms up overhead for a good morning stretch. Taking one more deep breath, becoming revitalized and full of energy. And slowly roll to your right side. Taking a moment here to reassimilate. Allow your body to integrate all of the feelings, all of the sensations it had during the practice. And when you're ready, pressing through your left hand, come up to a seated position. Let's take one more round of breath together, inhaling our arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today, and namaste.